Hey guys, what it is a Yo Girl Cadillac. I am Cadillac Dixon. I'm the Draw My Life prison wife. I am the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, helping to see justice before all face to black. Yeah, it's your girl Cadillac. Anyways, guys, as you can see, the sky is falling. Yes. Okay, so today I was headed to take my little Juju, my baby. I was about to call him my little boo-boo, but he's my little Juju. Take him to... Oh, it seemed like it's letting up. That's crazy. Okay, I was taking him to go meet his teacher, but end up I didn't have to take him, so my plans changed. All right, so I decided I was going to head to the park and do a little story time as I walked, but it suddenly just started raining, so I couldn't get my little walk on. I wanted to talk about something. Yes, the story of Brittney Griner. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Okay, so this young lady, she basically was going to overseas and did not realize that she had packed some, stuff with her. She had that in her bag and didn't even realize that it was on her, and that she actually was breaking a law, an overseas law that we didn't have in the, United States, or it may not have been so major here. Okay, so when I basically yesterday, it broke how much time she was sentenced to. I guess she went through trial and how much time she was going to get. Okay, so they basically wanted to give her 10 years. The judge, the prosecutors, or whatever, I don't know if they call the same thing over in Russia, but here we call them the DA, the prosecutors, the state, those folks. They always want to give them the highest, all that stuff. Not taking into any mitigating facts. Mitigating fact would have been it was an accident. She didn't know. It's not even against the law in, where she's from. So it completely wasn't purposeful or whatever. And they're the ones that come against like, oh, who cares? One rule for everyone. And, if you break this rule, then off with your head. That type of stuff. Those are those folks. So those folks wanted to give her 10 years, right? So she's already served a total of 6 months so far. So they sentenced her the 9.5 years left, and for that small amount of substance that she had on her or in her bag. Okay, so when I seen the 9 years, and it's like it shows the judge threw the book at her, which I guess they call it throwing the book at someone when they give them the highest amount allotted on the charge. And I looked at it and I'm like, 9 years. Yes, of course, that's a long time. That is a whole long time to take from a person's life, right? But I also started thinking 9 years, well, she's really young and she can get through that sentence, until, of course, which I do have coming later, Marcello's perspective. See, I'm the prison wife, but he's the prisoner. Baby. And the prisoner had to enlighten me on a couple things of why that 9 years may not be so, But I do have that coming later. It just began to lighten up and then it went to raining hard again. Okay. So initially, when I was like, okay, well, 9 years, that is something that she can get through. It's going to be hard. Yes, it's a long time. You cannot do 9 years on a handstand. You can't, do it like a alley-oop like that 9 years and stay in that pose. No, it's not something easy or short term, but it is something that you can do, and then you still. So for me, okay, my husband was sentenced to 40 years, right? So with her, she's sentenced to 9 years for an accidental, transportation of a substance in her bag. Small amount, right? My husband was sentenced to 40 years for an attempted robbery of $60. And the reason I do say 80, I mean 60, is because the people that claim to be attemptedly robbed said that my husband Marcello attempted to rob $80 from them. And when Marcello was arrested by the police and searched his body, searched his person, the police did not find $80. They found $60. And the police went back to the guys that said they were attemptedly robbed their $80 and was like, we only found 60 on Marcello. And that's when their statement changed and they said, oh, we meant 60. We were so scared that we said 80, but we meant 60. And then that's when the police proceeded to hand them back their written sworn affidavits to cross out 80 and then write 60. And right above where they wrote 60, they put their initials. You know, when you amend something, you got to put your initial. They put their initial and then put a little smiley face there. So I was comparing it. So she's sentenced to 9 years for a small amount of substance. Marcello's sentenced to 40 years for attemptedly robbing a small amount of money. Yes. Okay. Even though it doesn't line up, you know. So I'm like, okay, yes, she has 9 years and that's very detrimental, but at least she can move on with her life. Like if Marcello was sentenced to 9 years, this wrongful conviction would have been behind our family over about 12 years ago. Marcello would have been wrongfully convicted when our daughter was 9 months old. And then 9 years later, he would have been home and still able to help raise our child together from the age of like 10 or 11 until she was 18. That is not the case. He actually won't be home. She's 21 now. He actually won't be home until our granddaughter that was just born this year is about 17 years old. So I'm like, dang, I would have, almost loved to have had a 9-year sentence, and my husband would have almost loved to have a 9-year sentence. He could have did that twice in the time that he's been gone. But then I had to second guess that thought, and I thought about it, and I'm like, okay, hold on. See, this is when you have to check your own self sometimes. Sometimes our own egos get in the way. Our own things that we are going through and the things that we are experiencing, we always seem to think that, oh, well, if it ain't as bad as this, then it ain't nothing. If you ain't going through this, then you ain't going through nothing. And that is not the case. Almost all of us are going through something. There's different levels. There are different levels of incarceration. There's different levels of everything. And I had to think about it. I'm like, okay, Kita or Cadillac, check yourself, because 9 years is a long time. That's a long time. That changes a person's life. It can change a person for the better, or it can change the person for the worse, which I do have I got that from an incarcerated citizen here. Yes, I interviewed him like a year ago, and that is what he was saying, that incarceration can change you for the better or the worse. But at a certain point, a certain amount of time of incarceration just destroys you altogether. It doesn't change you for better or worse. It just completely destroys you. So I got to trying to compare it to myself, and I'm like, okay, so I'm looking at this 9-year sentence. Oh, that's not that much. It's a lot. It's a lot. It is a lot. I'm not saying it's not. So don't say I'm saying that's easy time. That's hard time. But it's not a lifetime. So anything less than a lifetime is almost, we would wish for, that. And we would be all right with that. And what I'm started thinking about is when I talk about the issues I'm going through, like I'm going blind. I have carpal tunnel. I have the 3 herniated discs in my neck. I have the TMJ in my jaw. I have the sciatica. I have I can barely move sometimes. I be in pain. My I forgot what's that word for them for your legs and arms, but let's just say legs and arms. They be going to bed. Like I have poor circulation and all of that, and I have all these different ailments, and I still have to work. I have to work a 9 to 5 because unfortunately that is how I make my money. Though I try and attempt to be a artist, my art skills are not paying the bills. Oh, I like that. That rhymes. My art skills ain't paying the bills. Not that I like that statement, but I like that rhyme. But yeah, so I can say I do complain about that because it is something I don't like. When you complain about something, you're commenting about your disapproval of a situation. You don't enjoy being in this state, right? So sometimes I feel like when I do complain about that I do I'm basically disabled and having to work in a workforce and do tasks that I really can't all the way do. Sometimes I'm slower. I'm talked about for being slower. I'm made fun of sometimes, and I'm told on by the manager, oh, why she doing this and that, not knowing that it's because I'm disabled and I have this and that. But people don't care. People talk about you on site, not knowing your whole true story and background. So still having to work, still being this incredible artist. Y'all, I'm an excellent artist, and it's nothing of trying to brag on yourself. I have a gift. And I'm not going to say I did it. So it's a gift. It was given to me. Mr. Holy, how was your first day?
He in the room, Keita.
Oh, I thought he was going to tell me. What is she talking about?
She said, come on, Keita. She's telling him be on the phone.
Oh.
She said you need to come pick him up.
Who said that?
What, yeah?
Yeah.
Juju, how was meeting your teacher?
Frank, you know her name?
What's her name?
Miss Williams.
Oh, wow.
And I got pets at my school.
You got a pet?
No, I got pets at my school.
What is he saying?
He got pets at his school.
Pets? That's what I said. It's a what? What a pet? What?
I got pets. And then I got treasure box. Where you get all the stuff that you own? That's being good.
Oh, a cubby box. Oh, treasure box.
Where you get like a lot of toys and stuff.
Oh. Did Araya go? Araya went with you?
No.
Oh, she telling me like she telling me like she went.
That's thunder.
Yeah, that's thunder.
Oh wow. Okay, Juju, I'll talk to you in a little bit.
You pick me up.
I was just seeing
A.M.
the day almost gone. I'm gonna pick you up this late. I was gonna take y'all to play at the park, but it's raining. I don't know how long it's gonna rain.
It's heavy.
Look up the weather and see how long it's gonna rain. I know you could probably do that.
Mom, look up the weather and see if it's gonna rain.
Y'all aggravate me because Keita could do that. Let me see.
All right, y'all. I'll pick them up after I.
It's supposed to rain till 6.
Oh, okay. So I'll pick y'all up at 6. All right.
You gonna pick up right too?
Yeah, she can come. The price. All right. Bye. Okay, guys. I don't even know where I left off. But anyway, okay. I think I was trying to build up to my story, what I was saying. Guys, I'm so sorry. I'll be all over the place. I didn't structure this video out. I'm just trying to, off the top of my head, remember everything and being interrupted in the middle. But that was a pleasant interruption. But basically trying to show that people look at that situation, oh, okay, so, it's not that bad. Like, at least you can do this, at least you can do that, which, yes, I'm not ungrateful for what I at least can do. I'm not ungrateful for at least I have a job that pays my bills, or at least. So just saying where you saying what you're unpleased with, when someone says that, it basically is saying it like, oh, well, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as this, so you're not going through that much. So that was basically what I was saying about her 9-year sentence, not knowing that, yes, 9 years is not a 40-year sentence, but 9 years is a lot. And that's going to be hard time. It's not going to be as hard time as 40 years, but it could actually, because we talked to Marcello, which is also known as one of many. That's the name he chose, and he had a whole different perspective on that 9 years. And I'll let him tell you that. I don't want to get too far into that. But yes, it's bad. That's a lot. Oh my gosh. Prayers out to her. Hopefully she has somebody that can support her. I know she does have, but see, I don't even know how far money goes in Russia. That's going to be crazy. Like, I ain't support him from a whole nother country. So I don't know how that would be. Like, I'm a prison wife in the same country my husband lives in, but how would you be sending commissary like over country lines? Like, how do you do that? Like, is that like them calls? Like, that would be a whole nother thing. Like, how do you hold somebody down from a whole different country? But then does she have somebody that is in Russia that could hold her down, which I don't think she does. So that's going to be hard. So that 9 years doing it like that can definitely be much harder. And then the conditions and stuff like that. So, and not that the conditions in American prisons, they don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you. American prisons is not the Hilton. These places, baby. But there are places that are worse. That's the same thing. That would be like someone saying, well, I'm locked up in a Russian prison and the prisons here were so much worse. So you were locked up in America. So that was nothing. And the person locked up in America would be like, hold on, that still was hard time. So basically just, we all going through something. And I guess we have to learn to just listen sometimes when somebody is going through something and not always compare it to your situation and say, well, they don't have it as hard as I have it, or they don't have it as hard as the next, so they're not going through something. They could be going through something. Just be a listening ear if you can. All right. Anyways, let me get up out this. Y'all know Juju is looking for your girl. He is looking for me. Oh, I love my baby. Okay. Anyways, it's your girl Cadillac.